If you want to discover how to grow your business 10 times faster, then it helps to know what other successful entrepreneurs and business owners have done in the past. Because by looking at, studying, modeling, and then most importantly of all, actually taking action and incorporating their lessons into your business, well, you give yourself what could almost be considered some kind of unfair competitive advantage. That was my secret at least, and the path I first took when I started my very first business, and it's the same thing that I've done with every single business or venture that I've pursued after that. I would decide on a rough course of action, and then I would set out to learn every single thing that I could about that business, whether it was through books, or courses, or coaches, or mentors, or seminars, or anything else I could get my hands on. And the investment of time and money always paid off. After all, even though experience is the best teacher, it can also be a very slow and very painful way to grow. You are much better off accelerating your business growth by learning from the mistakes of those who've gone before you, and applying all of the valuable lessons that they've shared and been so kind to pass on. As the old saying by Benjamin Franklin goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Now, in the quote, Benjamin Franklin is actually talking about fire safety and how preventing fires is a whole lot easier than trying to fight them once they're already burning the place to the ground. But the same thing applies to business. The reality is that ignorance is not bliss. And achieving big goals like 10xing your business requires big thinking, big actions, and a big plan. Big goals also force you to stretch and become someone completely different, someone stronger and smarter and more capable, more confident. They force you to think different and act different and be different. So now let me show you 7 tips and tricks that I use anytime that I want to 10x a business. You can use one of them, or you can use all 7 depending on how fast you want to scale things up. But before we dive in, we first need to quickly cover the only 3 ways to grow a business. You see, according to Jay Abraham, there's only 3 ways to grow any kind of business. The first is to get more customers, which would be increasing your sales. The second is to get customers to spend more each time, which could be by increasing your price or increasing the volume. And the third way is to get customers to buy more often, which is increasing the frequency. So each of the 7 things that I'm going to share with you now is going to correspond in some way to one of those 3 things. Of course, the perfect plan involves all 3 of these things: getting more customers, getting them to spend more, and encouraging them to buy more frequently. But the most important advice that I can offer at this stage is to keep things simple. Like I mentioned before, you can use one of the following steps or all 7 depending on how quickly you want to scale things up. The key though is to make sure that you actually take action and not let yourself get lost in the sea of opportunity or all the things you could do. So let's dive in, starting with number 1, craft your offers. I was at a marketing conference years ago and there was a breakout session being offered on how to perfectly price your business and your offers. Naturally, I signed up and sat in the front and was super excited to hear all of the amazing wisdom that the speaker was about to bestow upon us and things that were going to dramatically change my life and bring forth untold levels of new wealth. But what the speaker said next, well, it stayed with me to this day. You see, at first, when I heard what he had to say, I was kind of disappointed and underwhelmed and maybe even a little bit frustrated. But I can now see the beauty and the power in the simplicity of what he said, and it's gone on to help me generate millions and millions of dollars for myself, for my clients, and for my students. Here's what he said. Every business needs 3 offers: something free, something paid, and something expensive. Your something free is your free content. It could be the content you make on a YouTube channel or a blog or a podcast or anything else like that. It could be a lead magnet or some kind of valuable freebie or opt-in bribe that you give in exchange for somebody's name or email address. Essentially, it's an opportunity to provide value up front, to establish your authority and your expertise and your credibility before money ever exchanges hands. Then you need something paid, and this is your core offer, the main thing that you're going to be selling and the main thing that you want your business to be known for. Typically, this is an offer that you can sell that has the best margins, is the easiest to sell, is the most clear and understandable to the people that you're selling it to, has the best fulfillment and delivery capabilities. It might also have the most ability to scale or be able to be automated or delegated or anything like that. Your something paid or your core offer is what you build build your entire business on. Then you have something expensive, and this is typically your back-end offer. Normally, this is what you're going to sell to somebody after they've bought your something paid, your core offer. This could be either a one-time purchase or it could be a recurring revenue type of thing through a membership or a subscription or any other kind of model like that. The goal here is to have roughly 20% of your core customers upgrade to your more expensive offer, and this can easily contribute an additional 20% to 100% or even more in extra revenue for your business. Of course, having your offers in place is a key aspect of 10xing and massively scaling your business, but the next thing is making sure that you're filling those offers with happy customers. So that leads us to the marketing funnel next. A marketing funnel, also known as a sales funnel or sometimes called a customer journey or anything like that, well, really all it is a visual representation of the steps that a prospect or potential customer would take when they go from having no idea who you are or what you do, all the way through the buying process to come out the other end a happy and loyal paying customer. The thing with marketing funnels, though, is that as marketing changes and new platforms and new channels continually get introduced to the market, well, what works today may not work tomorrow, and what works in one industry may not work in another business or win another market. This is why I love the quote by Sheryl Sandberg that says, "Done is better than perfect." The key here is really just to make sure you have a marketing funnel in the first place, because if you don't have one, it's going to be hard to optimize and make better in the future. All that said, for the past 10 years, I've used one marketing funnel in my business and with most of my clients that fit the following criteria that seems to just outperform pretty much anything else we tested against. I call it the case funnel, and it's the perfect funnel for coaches and consultants, agencies, service professionals, and experts. First, you start with traffic, which comes from your traffic source of choice, ideally a place that your ideal clients and prospects are present and active on. So this could be Facebook or YouTube or a podcast or a blog or whatever it is. Then you drive this traffic to an opt-in page where you're going to provide them some kind of value through a lead magnet or some kind of valuable download that they can get in exchange for their email address. After that, you take them to what I call an authority amplifier, and this is a simple and very short video that essentially highlights some of the key aspects of what they've just downloaded and establishes you as a credible and authoritative figure in your market. And it also has a call to action at the end of the video for somebody to apply or fill out an application form if they want more information on doing business with you. This call to action button, of course, takes them to that application form, which is segmented, meaning that depending on how somebody answers the questions in the application form, well, they're directed to the relevant and appropriate solution. Meaning if somebody is your perfect ideal fit client or customer, well, they may get fast-tracked right to your call. On the other hand, if they don't mark any of the indicators that make up the things that you've identified as your perfect prospect, well, they might be given maybe to your sales team or a referral or possibly to a course or some other kind of training. If they do fit the criteria of your ideal clients or customers, though, they then get moved to the next stage of the funnel, which is to book a spot on your calendar for that call. Of course, this is just one of many different kinds of funnels out there, and it's going to look dramatically different if, on the other hand, you're selling, say, a physical product or doing some kind of e-commerce sale. Regardless of what funnel you build, though, once it is built, the next step is in optimizing it and finding areas for improvement. Every business is different, and therefore every marketing funnel, sales funnel, or customer journey is different as well. This also means that different funnels are going to have different areas that they're going to need to be optimized for. For example, if in your funnel you're giving away a lead magnet or some kind of freebie and nobody seems to be opting in for it, well, then we are going to have to start there first by sort of spicing it up and making it more valuable or more relevant. On the other hand, if you have an application form that seems to only be delivering lower quality leads, well, you're going to need to take a look at the overall message and the overall offer that you're making. Or if you have a calendar page that simply is never getting any calls or nobody's booking, well, we may want to either adjust the questions on the application page or possibly even change the order, putting the calendar booking first and the application second to see if we can increase leads that way. Or if your funnel is converting absolutely perfectly, then hey, high fives all around. But it's at this point that you want to focus on driving more clicks and more eyeballs and more attention and more people through your funnel. So let's talk about that next. Once your funnel is operating smoothly, well, this is where things start to get exciting, and you're going to want to do what I call filling the tank, which is essentially driving more traffic into your funnel so you can turn that $1 into $2. Essentially, investing time or money or energy into your funnel and having them deliver a higher quality and more valuable client or prospect on the other end. The beauty is though, once your funnel is built and you've essentially created an automatic customer generating machine, well, all you need to do is drive more traffic to it, and traffic is everywhere. From social media platforms to online paid advertising, to joint venture partnerships, to guest posting, to blogging or vlogging or podcasting or anything else you can think of. My approach to generating traffic is both a combination of more is better and better is better, meaning that I want as many relevant people as possible into my funnels. Once that's done, it's time to move on to the next thing, which is all about staying top of mind. There's an expression in marketing I first heard from Frank Kern that said most people won't. In other words, most people won't click. Those that do click, most people won't call. Those that do call, most people won't buy. Of the people that do buy, most people won't buy again. And on it goes. But rather than being depressed and defeated by this sad marketing truth, well, you're much better off to plan and prepare for it accordingly. You see, depending on what business or market or industry you're in, a general rule is that roughly only around 5% of people are ever going to buy immediately. 10% or so will buy around the next, say, 30 to 60 to 90 days. And the remaining 85%, the bulk of your market, is going to buy after that 90-day period, up to as long as possibly 18 months, sometimes even more. What this means is that the fortune really is in the follow-up. And you want to do everything in your power to continue to nurture and to engage and to interact and to inform them with information and offers and other relevant ways that you can provide value to their lives as much and as long as possible. And the best way to do this is through good old-fashioned email marketing. The reality is that email is cheap, it's easy to send, and it's still the preferred communication style amongst most people, including millennials and Gen Z. Once you've made the sale though, well, the real work, my friend, has just begun, which is why the next thing is to retain at all costs. According to a study conducted by Invasp, acquiring a new customer can cost 5 times more than retaining an existing customer. Increasing customer retention by 5% can increase profits from 25 to 95%, and the success rate of selling to a customer you already have is 60 to 70%, while the success rate of selling to a new customer is 5 to 20%. Long story short, keep your customers happy and your business will grow. And the best way to keep your customers happy is to obey what I call the marketing platinum rule. We're all familiar with the golden rule, to treat other people how you'd want to be treated. Well, the marketing platinum rule is to treat your customers and your prospects how they want to be treated, not how you want to be treated. Because how you want to be treated may be very different than how they want to be treated. For example, just because you may like listening to podcasts doesn't mean they do. Or just because you like reading blogs or articles, well, doesn't necessarily mean they do. Or just because you like YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever. Again, well, you get the picture. The key then is to go where your ideal customers are and avoid the places that they are not. It sounds simple, kind of obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people are on platforms or on channels or on networks that are completely devoid of anybody they hope to serve. By being active and present where your ideal customers and clients are and avoiding all of the places that they aren't, well, it saves you a ton of time and money and energy, and it also makes you look a whole lot more caring and responsive. Of course, with all of that said, one of the best ways to 10x your business is to really make sure that you've got your marketing strategy dialed in. And this is why the next thing you're going to want to do is check out the video that I've got linked up right here on digital marketing strategy. So make sure to check it out now, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right, the next thing that'll really help you become a better digital marketer is to understand the differences between strategy and tactics and when to use them. Strategy is all the big picture stuff, and this is really